Since January 1st, smokers have been paying an extra 20 lek more for a packet of cigarettes, although based on the increase in excise tax, the price increase should be only 10 lek per packet. The European currency has displayed an upward trend in the first days of 2018 due to the departure of emigrants after the year-end holidays. Democratic Party councillors of Tirana's municipality accuse Meravalii of attempting to silence the opposition. Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Friday the 5th of January 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. I'm Alexandra, here to bring you the day's national top stories translated into English around the country. Our top story for this evening: Italian ambassador to Albania, Alberto Cutillo, has held a meeting today with the chief prosecutor, Arta Marcu, during which they discussed the further strengthening of cooperation between the two countries. Official sources said that the Italian ambassador expressed his readiness during the meeting to cooperate with the Albanian authorities in order to realise the process of vetting as fast as possible. He added that the integrity of Albanian officials relies on the full implementation of the framework of the decriminalisation law. The head prosecutor, Arta Marcu, stated that she considers Italy as a very important partner in the fight against organised crime and trafficking. She expressed conviction that the Albanian Prosecution Office and the Italian law enforcement agencies will intensify collaboration on investigations to crack down on criminal groups operating across the two states. Chief Prosecutor Marcu thanked the Italian diplomat for his personal engagement and that of his country for the encouragement and contribution to the drafting of the justice reform. She stressed the importance of the vetting process for the justice system of Albania, stating that strengthening the integrity of prosecutors and judges will also affect the further qualitative growth of the fight against organised crime and international trafficking. Earlier on Thursday, Marcu held a meeting with representatives of the UPDAT office in the United States Embassy in Tirana. According to official sources, they discussed mutual cooperation and assistance in realising the vetting process in the justice system. UPDAT was represented by John Smebert, who has played an important role in drafting the justice reform package in Albania. Marcu remains hopeful for continued periodic meetings with UPDAT to accelerate the process of vetting. The chief prosecutor concluded with a guarantee that she will give her maximum contribution to what she believes is the most important process of justice reform in Albania in order for it to be realised as quickly and efficiently as possible. The Albanian government has chosen to increase the price of cigarettes in a bid to curb tobacco consumption in Albania. Coming into effect on the 1st of January this year, the recently approved increase to the tobacco excise and the additionally applied VAT had consumers expecting to pay an extra 10 lek per packet of cigarettes in 2018. However, traders have aggressively taken the opportunity to abuse the changes by increasing the cost of packets of cigarettes by a higher amount than the according calculations of the excise, doubling the price increase to 20 lek per pack. The decision to increase the cigarette excise was a government decision with the intention to address concerning levels of tobacco consumption in Albania. The World Health Organization places Albania amongst the highest in the world in regards to rates of tobacco consumption, placing significant pressure on the healthcare system. The Health Ministry also expressed concerns about the significant danger smoking poses to the health of Albanians. Albania has about 753,000 smokers in total, out of which 651,000 are male. As an effect of increasing the level of excise, 5 lek per package can be calculated as an additional cost. According to the calculations, the increase by 5 lek per package plus the 20% VAT, adding also the growth of the minority market, the price reflected should be an increase of 10 lek per package. However, currently consumers are forking out an extra 20 lek as a result of the change, which can only be attributed to the abusive actions of traders. EU countries have managed to avoid the temptation for abuse by traders by setting the price of the tobacco package on its fiscal stamp. The method applied here in Albania leaves the door for market abuse open, both from importers and retailers. Despite the government's claims that the increase is aimed at preserving the health of citizens, many believe that the real goal is to further stuff their pockets and line their coffers. As a result of the increase in excise, the state budget is expected to receive more than 1 billion lek. This policy is foreseen to continue in Albania also in the coming years. Unlike the countries of the region, Albania and Kosovo apply excise on only quantity and not the value of the cigarettes, and the excise rate is smaller with the exception of Macedonia. The high number of travellers exiting the country and the lowering rate of consumption have returned the euro to stronger positions against the Albanian lek. According to the Bank of Albania, in the first days of this year, an upward trend of the European currency has been recorded. A €1 is already being exchanged for 133.43 lek, noticing a recent increase of about 2 points, while the expectations are for a further strengthening in the currency. Beyond the domestic factors in the valuation of the common European currency, the performance of the euro in international markets had also played a role, with the recent exchange rates being the highest values of this currency recorded in the last 4 months. The opposite happened with the US dollar, which has dropped significantly in just a few days. This is explained by the fact that investors in the international markets recently preferred the euro, as they are on hold for the introduction of favourable policies by the European Central Bank predicted for 2018. The situation of the US dollar in the international market has been replicated here in Albania, where the dollar is again depreciating and currently sitting at approximately 110.8 lek. The rise in the number of Albanian emigrants returning to the places where they live and work abroad following the year-end holidays continues at all land, sea and air border points, with those living in Greece leaving at the highest rates. Since our last report just 24 hours ago, the border crossing points in Kapshtica and Kakavia have seen increases in the numbers of travellers processed. In Korça, at the Kapshtica border point, about 4,656 people have passed customs, exiting the country, and more than 2,300 have entered. While in Kakavia, 4,526 Albanian citizens using 1,008 vehicles have been recorded at the exit. There were also 479 foreigners with 282 vehicles that left Albania here. In the evening hours of yesterday, citizens complained about the pace of work at the Greek side in Kakavia, with Greek authorities operating with only 2 counters open for processing passports. The ports of Durrës and Vlora have also begun receiving higher numbers of passengers travelling. 1,935 Albanian and foreign citizens have travelled from Albania to Italy, while 1,203 others have journeyed in the opposite direction. Departures from the country's largest port in Durrës are expected to continue to rise, seeing the biggest majority of travellers over the weekend. While from the port of Vlora, it has been noticed that in the first days of 2018, more passengers came out than were registered at the entrance. In just the last 2 days, 1,100 passengers have used ferry lines departing from Vlora as their means of exiting the country. The good news for travellers, of course, is the fact that despite higher passenger numbers, the prices have not increased. It should also be noted that although high levels of movement is reported at all customs points, there are no queues or problems with any of the Albanian border points. The Border and Migration Directorate says it has taken measures to manage any situation that could be created at any of the border crossings across the country. The Democratic Party have accused the opposition, in particular the Mayor, Erion Veliaj, as attempting to silence the opposition using the lawsuit against the Democratic councillor Akil Kraja. The statement was made on the back of a denunciation against the councillor of the Democratic Party, claiming defamation and reputational violation. The leader of the Democratic councillors, Kreshnik Cholaku, said that these methods, which he called persecutory actions, will not be tolerated by the opposition. I have a message today for the Mayor and his Prime Minister. If they think that with persecution, with physical or verbal violence, they will frighten the Democrats, they have made the wrong calculations. They testify that they do not know the Democrats' DNA. The DP was born amid persecution and violence of a dictatorship. Violence and persecution will only strengthen us. Meanwhile, Akil Kraja himself said that it was the Mayor himself who promised at first that the price of water will not increase. So, you are better than the facts? Every word is a superfluous act of media participation. Here we recite one of the dozens of hundreds of lying statements by Mayor Erion Veliaj. He publicly claimed that he was negotiating the privatisation of UKT, but that the price of water would not increase, said Kreshnik Cholaku. The lawsuit lodged by Erion Veliaj demands damages totalling 100,000 lek. And that's the news from across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news across Albania translated into English. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.